birthday, August 3rd of 1980, for murder. And as I'm blowing out my candle, this first memory of my life, literally, like, blowing out my candle, the door gets knocked in, and like cops come and search warrant, whatever, and like my whole part. So that was, and from that moment on, I'm sure was the trauma of just having my dad taken, right? Also, but like, that's when my imaginary friend showed up. That's when I started talking to things that weren't there, that nobody else could see, and having fear of things I was seeing. Right? Like,
I want to say that I have a parallel there as well. And my parallel is that when I was 2, my parents separated for the first time in my lifetime. And they had been married 3 years prior, but
my parents have been married also. Right.
Interesting.
I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
So. And they separated many times over their marriage, and so as kids would be shuffled back and forth. But it was at the same age. It was at 2 that was the first time that happened. Yep. And then I would say my first trauma that was extreme. I was, and I'm not going to get into it. I'm just going to say that I was molested at 5 by a family member.
Same.
And it lasted until I was 11 years old. And I went and got many years of therapy for it.
Right. Yeah. Same here. Same. I was six and until like 8. And yeah, family member also. And I guess the whole family kind of knew about it, but nobody did anything about it. Because, right. So those things happen.
And we're the whistleblowers, so we're extra bad.
We get black sheep, right? We're the black sheep. So we don't conform to our family standards at all. Like my family's the absolute epitome, like the antithesis rather of me completely. Like I am nothing like them. Thank God. No part of it.
Yeah. We put the D in dysfunctional, let me tell you.
Right. But that's part of it. It's like these things happen to us, and like, okay, so the average, a lot of people would, this is a lot, right? Like just already we're barely at like adolescence. Okay, this is a lot of stuff. All right. So then adolescence for me, I had a boyfriend that was highly abusive, like extremely abusive, and tried to kill me at 13. I was 13. Right. And I was kicked out of my house at 12. My mother kicked me out onto the street and never let me back in the house again ever at 12.
Wow.
So that's what happened. And I've been on my own since I was 12. Shit you not. Everybody knows it. Like it's like literally fact.
Yes, we all know it. I knew you at 12.
Yeah, I used to go to school. I used to take the bus to middle school while I was living in an abandoned building on Fresno City College campus. Yeah.
Like I remember when it all hit you.
Uh-huh. Oh, when because I went from like preppy to like black hair mohawk and like crazy stuff. Yeah, I was like a little.
It was called you were in survival mode. You were surviving.
I know. I was couch surfing from people. Like people would take me in, right? Like I was on the street for like 6 weeks, but then after that, people did take me into their houses, like because I'm a little girl, and so I stayed with friend after friend after friend until I got my own apartment at 14.
Would you say that you think maybe you changed your appearance for twofold things? One, to fit in more into your new role. Mm-hmm. And also to signify to you that little innocent girl that you wanted to be loved was dead.
Shit. Well, that wasn't expected, Stephanie. Yeah, shit. That never even crossed my mind until right now. But yes, I'm on. Wow. Like, yeah. Yep. Because what I get kicked out for. Why was I kicked out? I was fucking 12. Like,
you were a baby.
Are you kidding me? When my daughter turned 12, I remember sitting across the table from her at her birthday party and thinking she would fucking die. Like, she would be murdered or like kidnapped within 5 minutes. Like, how could I as a mom like ever allow that? What the fuck? Like, I thought I would relate more to my mother when I had kids, and it was the exact opposite. Because I love my children so much, and like I would never be able to do anything like that to them. So not even like the thought makes me sick, actually. So yeah. So she said I was this bad kid. So yeah, fuck you. I'm gonna be bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Like I already got punished for the shit I didn't do. Might as well do it, right? Like, and yeah, thus began my like you know, era of tyranny, like, and craziness, like, you know, doing like bad shit, like, you know, not that bad.
Or maybe it was also the catalyst to create that opportunity for your soul, that your soul chose this, you know?
Right. I mean, and that's the thing, like that high. That's the thing is, you know, we have these, allegedly we pick it, right? That's the rumor. It's our path. But during some research for one of my graduate classes in consciousness studies, it was a shamanistic traditions class. My professor told me I needed to investigate my lineage of shaman, and I was like, I'm white. What are you talking about? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any cool stuff in my family like that. Turns out that actually Scandinavian, you know, like Norway stuff, like up there in the Arctic, they have the Sami tribe, and that's part of my lineage. And wouldn't you know that the initiation for the female shaman is to be kicked out of her house at age 12?
Yeah.
Alone with a boy who's 18, who has to be her companion to live until she's 18. If she comes back alive, she gets to be the medicine woman, the healer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was that shocked me, honestly, because I know my mother had no part of that. Like, no, nothing. She did. No, this is not a plan.
No, this was more like a blood thing taking over. You know what I mean?
I mean, I guess I'm now going to be 45 next month, right? Like, so it just happened this year, and as I'm 44, and reading that and seeing that was helpful for me. It was helpful because I was like, wow. That's a very specific thing, you know, like that's a very specific thing.
Yes, she has the odds, and a normal person wouldn't have survived.
That's why I don't. That's why I'm just like, I just do stuff. Like I just go. Like I don't think of I just do stuff. I'm always busy because I don't like thinking about this stuff, honestly, because it can be overwhelming. Like these things that Stephanie and I, our lives are like this. Like if we went and wrote down our stuff and took it to a Hollywood script, you know, like a place, they'd be like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
This. and they'd be right. They'd be right. I can't count how many times people used to say I was a liar, like that people would think I was lying about my circumstances, because I mean, I would think that too, because it's been so just one after the other things, right, Stephanie? Like
right. Oh, just one after another. So like after being 11 and, you know, being molested and all that, then I had at 12 I had the dream of being in church. I was in the Catholic Church. Okay, this is
oh my god, I forgot about this. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a dream that I had sex with Baphomet in the Catholic Church at 12. Mm-hmm. That's alarming for any 12-year-old.
Okay,
but I just delved deeper into esoteric knowledge at 12. By 15, I was understanding that because I always thought everybody was a medium. I didn't understand that not everybody was a medium. I thought everybody saw dead people. I thought everybody, you know, I had no clue. Yeah. I started to figure it out at 15, which is a little late, but.
Oh yeah. That is late. Yeah.
And because of the things that I knew and the things that I did, the Catholic Church actually had a exorcism done on me.
Yeah, that happened.
I was 15. I was 15, and it landed me in the hospital.
Yeah, of course it did, because that's crazy, and that's some religious trauma if I've ever heard it. You're just being a normal kid, getting curious about stuff because of your trauma background, and you're like looking for answers, right? You're looking for something because, let's be honest, this is one of those things where if the idea that we have the ability to create our own reality, that we have the ability to change things, like in magic, you know, is very enticing to people like us that have bad shit happening all the time that is out of our control. Because it gives us this idea that maybe we can have control one day, right? And then for the church to come in and be like, no, not even funny, dude. Like I'm laughing.
Yeah, it was very much like your ability is not of God, you know. and you shouldn't be able to do this, this, and this. And so it was very traumatic for me. And by the end, they had me completely believing that I was schizophrenic.
Right.
Because they couldn't come up with any other solution.
Right. It's the devil or it's mental illness, right? It's one
right.
of those.
Right.
Because you're like, and that's true. Like I was raised Baptist, but I quit going to church at 8 because I was like, no, I literally I was like, this is dumb. Like, you guys are hypocrites. And I said that. I
left the church at 15 for good.
Right. So mine was a little, I think my life was prepping me to be on the street a little early. So I was having to make these decisions. I'm not going to church anymore. You guys are crazy. You're hypocrites. These people are racist. My family's super, conservative race, very racist. And I was like, that's not what the church said. What? How's this happening? You guys are hypocrites. And I got my ass beat. I had to go pick a switch out of the yard. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I took it. I'm proud to have the Black Sheep label. Very proud.
Oh yeah. Same. I have such a great love for people because of these rough initiations.
Right.
Oh, and I forgot to add, at the age of 12, okay, so my parents divorced, and then my mother was very ill, physically ill, real bad. And so I took on a caretaker role with her. She had a boyfriend who was in and out of prison, who was a heroin addict. And I saw things that I should never see at the tender age of 12, 13, 14, 15. I'm talking involving guns, drug dealers, heroin use, IV drug use, things that I should have never, ever experienced.
Right. And I had to go to every other weekend to prison to see my dad. And so
yes, I visited prison too. Yes.
And I sat on Tex Watson's lap. That's the guy that killed Sharon Tate from the Manson family. These are the people my dad was in prison with, because my dad killed 2 people. He was a murderer. So or that's what the records say anyway. There's some possible doubt, but that's another story. So it just that was my life until 12. So
there's somebody here saying they had an initiation at 15. See, this is what we wanted to hear from you guys too.
This is great. So these are also initiations too. So I took Datura, aka Jimson. We don't do it. Disclaimer: do not do it. It is very bad for you, and you will likely die. I can't believe I did not die. I might have, because I did see the same person I saw when I did die, right? I did see her. So I think maybe I might have died and just didn't actually die all the way. Drugs. So we'll talk about this briefly, because we're not condoning drug use either. But it is
however, plant medicine that is used ceremoniously by a medicine person in a controlled setting is used